All right, we are in the Open, the 2024 Open. I'm in my 99 account. This is my mid-level rookie, so we're gonna go out there and try it out, see what's going on. I'm gonna try not to bring out anything big today. I don't think I really need to. I'm gonna play this. What I should do is just play it with a Marlin, but I might bring out a katana or some stuff on some of the holes. There are some of them that we can pick up. We'll do it. We'll do it to it. Hole number one. I'm gonna bring a sniper, and I'm not. Here's the deal on hole number one. You can't get up into here unless you bring out a big power ball, and I'm tired of playing in this area with the mogul stuff. I need to go back and find the oldest video that I ever shot on this hole. Hold on. All right, there's a picture of what it used to look like, where you were coming in from this side right here and it was fairly flat and all the moguls were over here. They moved it around a little bit, so they've changed our target area. Trying to come into the hole has now got that mogul in there, so that mogul is constantly bringing us off trajectory. Dag nabbit. So I'm not going to waste a good ball on this. Excuse me. Before I choke to death. I'm not going to bring a good ball in order to get to the spot. I'm just going to hit from right here and just come at it. I tried the area over here in Pro the other day, but I didn't have enough curl. Or excuse me, not enough curl. Not enough side spin to get over there. I would have had to bring out like a bigger side spin ball. I was trying to do backspin, because if you do backspin and side spin at the same time, it enhances your side spin and makes it better. And so I brought out a Thor's hammer to try and get up in there, but I suppose if I get like right up in the front right here, or right up in this area, I might be able to get it done. Let's try something different on this. I'm done taking that rough bump shot. I know that that's a great area, but it used to be a great area. It's not such a great area anymore. Let's see what bags I have. Let's see if I have a bag that's got a well, in this account I don't have a lot of options, so my options are sniper. Let's see what ball I got chose here. We'll bring a Quasar just for the side spin. Just for the spin. All right, here we go. Here we go. Getting out on the course. Crazy Legs, what's up, man? I'll go first. Yeah, I'd have to bring something big. I'm going to play it from right here, and that way I can hit in the dead center middle of that. Maybe it'll give me a little better run at it. Am I going at it? I am going at it. 4.6, 5.52 rings. Here we go. Hitting it perfect. Perfecto. I did a 20% on that, so I have no idea. I have no idea whether I should be doing more or if it's just in the spot you're hitting out there and it makes the ball go one way or the other. I have no idea. I'll up it on the next time I play it. I'll up that and see if it makes any difference. But I am done trying really hard on this hole. I saw somebody practice on there. One of my viewers, Bang Power? Thanks for commenting. Commented that I was practicing and I gave the person a hard time. I don't get the whole practice thing. If you know where the spot is, if you know where to go, they immediately went to the spot and they took the shot. Practice tokens aren't free. I mean, you can win a tee or an explosion, or you can get some that way, but if you're going to practice a hole that you already know and you're eyeballing it, and I'll tell you what, there's some great players out there that do nothing but eyeball. They'll get to a certain point. I'm sure that people that are at the top, the people that are the top players in the world and up there, I'm sure that there's probably not a lot of them that are eyeballers. Most of them have some kind of method. Personally, I just don't understand the whole practice thing. If you already know what the hole is, you don't win anything. It costs you something, and then you're going to eyeball it. Don't get it. I personally don't get it. I don't. And it's not repeatable. So I mean, even if they would have made it and they went, yeah, okay, that's the way. Okay, what are you going to do on the next one? If the wind's different, I mean, how do you figure that out? How do you get any repeatability? And that's the really big thing about practice, is trying to go out there so that you can find out if the adjustment that you're doing is right, and then you're going to repeat it on the next time you do it. And so I just don't get it. I don't. I do not. Hole number 2. Hole number 2. All right, can we get on to one here? What I'm doing in my other account is I'm doing max topspin, which is 85 topspin, and I definitely do not have anything with 85 topspin here. But I am pulling with a 3-power ball. I am pulling back to the +6 mark with max topspin coming through this area. So if I don't have max topspin, I'll probably have to be more towards max club. We will see. I'm going to take my extra mile and a Titan, the king of balls. And I did it. I have traditionally done like a 10% on the drive here, but I took a shot yesterday and breezed past the cup. I was really trying to go for hole-in-one, and I had underpulled it. So I'm going to do a 15 today and see if that gets me a little bit closer. All right, here we roll. I'm not sure if we'll have to play this by ear. This is definitely a hole that we want to get eagle on, though. This is some low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. My opponent has a pretty similar club to me. I'm not sure what an 8 gets. Let's see their topspin. Maybe gets a little bit of topspin. They got 6 bars. Which I have no idea how that scale works for the topspin. Theoretically, a big topper has 100 topspin, so like if you had 10 bars, each bar would be worth 10 topspin. They had 6, and then we only have 9, so that means that if that was the case, then each one would be worth 1.11, and they moved 6, so that would be 66 and some change. It's max club. I need to do a little bit of overpower. Little. 2.3, 2.64 rings. Divided by 2.1, be 1 1/4. I'm going to push forward that little teeny bit of power that I lost. And see if that was just enough to eke me over there. I doubt it. I'm going to get caught up in the rough. Needed a little bit more overpower. I think I'd rather set that shot up and do max overpower and then pull it back and see where that way I could find a spot. Find the spot. That was a poor shot. Poor shot on my part. Yeah, that's the way it goes, bro. It's the way it goes. All right. The machete. Gotta hit this perfect. Gotta hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Woo! Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, and there was also a comment on my grid. Here's the deal. Okay, so Playdemic says that it's against the rules. It's against their rules to use a grid. Okay, that's not an enforceable rule. Okay, I run OUGHT, OUGHT 77, spelled out 99, 22. They feel free, Playdemic. If you feel like I'm breaking your rules, feel free to press that issue, because that's not enforceable. You can't tell me what apps I can run on my device. I'm not messing with your code. Now, if I was hacking into your code and doing some stuff, or I had something that was, I'm not doing that. That's like you being a banking at Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo telling you can't run the Chase app. It's not enforceable. And if somebody wants a grid, there's plenty of ways to get one. I think Apple has a grid that you can get just in the thing, because Apple doesn't allow you to run. I don't know what the deal is with Apple as far as some of the secondary apps that run overlays. The Golf Clash Notebook has an overlay you can do. I'm not sure if Tommy's does or not. I use Material Q, and I've put up in several posts, I've put up my code that I wrote for my grid. If anybody wants Material Q, you can go find it, and then I can post my code. All right, here we go. I'm trying to get, on my OUGHT account, or 77 account, I'm trying to get up here so I can do the rough bump to get to the cup. But I suppose I might be able to do the same thing. I'm doing 6 topspin with the Kingmaker, and I'm using a Cataclysm, but I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to shoot the ball right here. It's super easy to get to this spot, and then I'm going to go for the cup, and I'll have to bounce off the island. And you can do that amazing feat with what do I have the most of here? I got 4. I'm going to use a Quasar. Why not? Could make my sniper just a little short, because I am short in distance with my sniper. And we'll try it with a sniper and see how that works. Could do it with a Horizon. I could. Let's see if I have numbers for my Horizon. Do I got a number on here? 27. I think I might bring that bag. I am going to bring that bag. It hits a little bit farther as opposed to the 166, and I believe from where I'm shooting I'm using topspin, not backspin. Got a good ball guide? Let's do it. There's another rule in Playdemic. I'm not sure if they've changed their users agreement on it, but you weren't, when the game first came out, you weren't allowed to have more than one account. And when the game first came out, they were tied to the hip. They still are, in my opinion, they still are tied to the hip to Facebook, because our avatar picture comes from Facebook as opposed to being able to load a picture in here so that you could have a different picture here than you have in Facebook. And you weren't allowed to have more than one account. They recognized pretty quick that, number one, they were not able to enforce that rule, and number two, if somebody had a secondary account, they were buying stuff for the secondary account, so like they didn't push the issue on it, but they were definitely down on it. They definitely sent out letters talking about, you shouldn't have more than one account. And we can't have a grid. And you're not allowed to use an app for. You're not allowed to. They say you're not allowed to use the app. Oh yeah, hitting through the trees. You're not allowed to use the Wind app on the same device that you're playing the game. Okay, once again, how are you going to enforce that? How are you going to enforce it? I suppose I could get up to that area. Man, that club is... Heck, it is. I brought the wrong ball for that. I'm just going to play it right here. We'll just play it right there. 3. It's like a ring and a half. Perfect. That's a little short from where I wanted to be, but that will work. Now, I didn't hit it perfect in pro, but I was in that spot. You're lower here than you are up here, so I'm not sure if the variable from down here is the same as the variable up here. Down here I'm doing plus 15. And I'm not so sure it's not plus 15 plus 0.1, but I'm going to try the plus 15 from up there at the top. So it's 1.15 times the WAN divided by max horizon is 2.7 per ring. $2.7. Here we go. All right, where am I? Is that max? That is max, of course. .1, 5.1, 2.17 rings. Let's say 2.2. Here's 2. Hitting it perfect. El Perfecto. I guess the 15 works from there as well. A little hot. It would have been nice to get a little bit farther forward so I didn't have to, if I'd brought out a bigger ball, so that I could have set my spot would have been forward and I wouldn't have had to use as much topspin. If you can get up there close enough where you can use like one backspin, you can woe it up. That was 1.17 and I rounded it up to, or excuse me, 2.27 and I rounded it up to 2. That was a 15%. I've made a lot of albies on this hole, on that rough bump. I like this hole a lot better before they put that area that I bounced off of. Used to not be there. Used to not could. And if you weren't in the right spot on the drive, you were in a world of trouble. There were several of the holes in this that they've made much easier. One of the things that this course used to teach you, and it still does, is that it's more important to be in the perfect spot than it is to get distance. And that there was better spots out on the course than others. And so if you weren't hitting to that spot, you were going to get penalized because that's not where you wanted to hit. You shouldn't have hit there. You should have hit over here. And that was one of those areas right there where if you were in the wrong spot, you were in between clubs. You were having to get. It was a tough area to get into. You really had to pinpoint place your drive, and they put that area in there. So now you don't have to. You can recover if you don't hit the right spot. I liked it better when the course was tough. They did one time when they first changed the course. They did a tournament where they had the new holes, and then the very next time we played this course, they switched back to the original configuration. So they have the ability to do that. For those of you that haven't played the original, I would tell you this course was much tougher. All right. My goal is to try and get up in here. And I think. Which way's the wind blowing? That one's not really helping us. That wind is not helping us. I'm going to take my standard bag, which is my number 1 bag, and I'm going to take one of my elusive Titans. Here we go. Here we go. I'm looking on my notes here to see what the deal is. Okay, all right. I was doing plus 10 on the drive, and I'm not so sure it shouldn't be more. I need to get in this area. Four divided by 2.1, 2.1 rings. Oh, that'll end me up in the rough. I may get out of the rough, but I'm definitely going to clip the rough right here. Ooh. Just barely clipped it, but I clipped it. I still got a great shot from right there, and that is definitely going to be, that might actually be in my thorn. It might. I think that might be right around max thorn. Minimum thorn, maximum wedge is like right up in this area, and so I might just be in max thorn, or I'm going to be in minimum Saturn, one of the two. Max thorn is, and I was doing 10. Where's the hole? Dang it! Plus 10. I'm not so sure on some days, depending on which way the wind's blowing, that it shouldn't be like plus 10, plus 1, or what am I in? Thorn? I'm right at the max. Right at max. Max thorn is 1.9 per ring. 2.7 divided by 1.9. 1.56. I'm going to round that up to 1.6. That's it. Is that it? That's not it. That's it. 1.6 rings. Hitting it perfect. See if we can be the blind squirrel. I pulled it back too far with that backspin. Loaded up. It was right at it. I felt like it was going to release because it's downhill. Here's the cup, and it's downhill to the cup, and I felt like it was going to release and then roll out. But that last, if I would have left it before with just a three and a little backspin, I might have been fine. It's good to know that shot works from out there. That is a hole that we can pick up. For sure. And it looks to me like if I'd have hit that clear and I hadn't clipped the rough, I still would have been in thorn. So that's a great area for it. Coming in on that hole, let's look at it. My opponent gets to take their shot. In the hole, in the hole. All right, what are we on? Hole number 5. I don't even remember what hole number 5 is. I'm going to have to think about how to play hole number 5. Let's look at that hole real quick. Where I ended up out here in this area coming out and just ending up out here. The angle coming in at it, I have to start up really close to the cup. I like to be more out on this trajectory, so that when you're coming to the cup, you can start off up here and run it down to the cup, and it gives you a little bit more separation, so you don't have to do any backspin, or if you do, it's very little, or maybe even just a titch of topspin. But you know, it's a very small adjustment from over here. And if you get up, if you're at the angle where you got to come from here and you got to tighten it up, it is a better angle. And I will tell you that this course must have, the wind has blown the sand out on the course. I'm surprised the greenskeepers haven't come out here with a wind blower and blown the sand back in the sand trap, but the sand is definitely out of the trap, because this hole used to have a little bit bigger area in here, and the sand's just blown up over there over the years. So right underneath of this sand, there is fairway. There is. That's not part of the sand trap. Hole number 5. All right. Which way's the wind blowing? If we got a tailwind, there is a shot from right here that you can get over. And the thing about it is if you don't make it all the way out, it's pretty easy to recover. It's easy to recover with, so you're in long iron from over here, and so if you've got a Nirvana, you're in long iron from here. But I don't have a Nirvana, I've got a machete, and a machete is basically a glorified short iron, so it might make me a little short of the cup. And getting over to this area, yesterday I was putting on, I really don't like to do the shots like this with overpower, but I might be forced to have to do the shot over here. I've taken this shot back in the backside, I don't know how many times, because this shot wasn't here, and this shot was really like you had to bring out a bigger ball just to get into this window. And so this was the shot. And you have two options. You can hit through the trees. If you don't hit it too far, you've got to lay it up. You've got to lay it up kind of, you can be out in here and get in this area and get through the trees, but really you want to be back here and give yourself a little bit of distance from the trees. So instead of trying to get any distance here, once again, this is one of the things that Greenock Point teaches you. Instead of trying to get a bunch of distance and get out here, where now you are dead behind the trees, you're not going to hit through them. You're really kind of pinpoint placing it right in this area so that you can hit through the trees and go towards the cup. If you hit it out here, then what you're doing is a blind curl shot where you're out here and you're looking in this direction and you're trying to get your pivot point to bring you around to the cup. And so this is a shot you definitely want to have practiced a few times so that you can see how much topspin you can put on the club in order to get yourself back to the green. The problem with the shot, both of the shots, any of the shots over here, is that if you end up in the sand, in the rough, anywhere over here, you cannot recover. Whereas if you try and hit through here and you don't quite make it and you end up in the rough, there's a good chance you can recover. And if you're over here and you make it over to the other side, you can recover. And I don't want to bring out the stuff to do this. I don't think I have the stuff to do that as far as topspin goes. I think I would get caught no matter what. But I might be able to do this shot over here. I will bring out, just because the wind is right, I will bring out a Titan. Although a 3 sidespin ball is better. I only have 2 Kingmakers. I really don't want to use, I'm not going to use anything special. Special. I'll bring a Titan. If I'm just going to pound it over there, I think I'm going to go straight, and I'm just going to take a Quasar. I have a bunch of those. And we'll take that, and we'll just try and pound it over just straight. And even if I end up in the rough over there, I think I can recover. Let's see here. And that is the best hitting rough iron that I have in this account overall. I have an Amazon one which does hit farther, but I mean, come on. I have played with an Amazon a few times. I could use, that is a new deal. The reason that I bring the machete as opposed to that is because overall it's 6 yards less, but it's got 25 more topspin. It's getting close, and I just not too long ago got that razor up to that. I'm gonna stick with the machete. We'll stick with the machete, and we'll hope that we don't end up in the rough. Let's do that. Let's not end up in the rough. Then we don't have to worry about it. And I don't even want to think about ending up in the sand. Although I do have a Malibu, so I got that going for me. .2. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Actually, that might not be too bad right there. It might not be. 2.7 times 2.7 divided by extra mile 2.1. 1.54 rings. I'm going to do 1.5. I added on 20%. Perfect. Perfect. Perfecto. Excellent. I mean, on a headwind day, I could have brought out a bigger ball. I was thinking yesterday I played this in pro, and I played that way in pro, and I had to bring out a 3-power ball in order to get over there, and I had to put on max topspin. And I did a 10% in pro, and it was almost a pure side wind, and it pushed me. Like I was going like where my opponent's at, dead center in the middle of that, doing the rough bump to get onto it. And it pushed me over, like here's the quarter, here's the half. It pushed me over into this area, so I upped my adjustment to 20. And then I had practiced it, and then I went out there and during the round and did the 20, and it was right dead center. So in pro, at least, it's a 20, and it looked pretty good right there, even in rookie. .8 times 4.1 divided by I am in max Saturn, which is 1.9, 1.72 rings. .72 rings. There's 175. Oh, jeez. I was looking up to see how much time I had, and I was trying to focus on the thing at the same time, and I can't do two things at once. I'm not a multitasker. I am, but I'm not. None of us are, but we are. We can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, but don't ask us to talk. I like to take this, if you can get to it, where I was at, my red line was right there, is in the bottom of that bowl, so that you get first bounces in the bottom of the bowl and the second bounce is on the green, and then it's run into the cup. Because it wants to take an irregular bounce. If you're hitting that, you can see how steep this little hill is right here, and if you're hitting on that side of it, or if you're hitting right there by it, it gets all distorted. Let's watch the bounces, because one of these bounces takes a really weird hop. And bounce number 1 in the bottom of the bowl, and then yeah, see how it hits that ridge, and then it takes that high little hop. Trying to make it so that you're bouncing over that area and not hitting that area. If I could hit perfect on this, I do like our odds on this hole. This is a great. It's really good if you take the center path if you have a big enough ball to go to the center and you got the top spin to get over, you got a serious shot from over there, and there isn't any of those bounces or any of that stuff. You got a straight up shot at it. Straight up. Eagle. All right, what is our next hole? Our next hole, I need to buckle down and actually figure this hole out. And my notes are all jacked up. I got 2 par 3s back to back. And here's what I've been doing. I've been doing 1-to-1 plus 10%, and I'm at minimum club. So it should be, the way it should be is, let's say the wind was 2 miles an hour. It should be 1.2 times the wind. Excuse me, 1.1 times the wind divided by 1.2. But I'm hitting this as at 1, so it's basically I'm doing a 30% adjustment. But I'm not sure. Now my minimum's still going to be the same. And I was using a katana. Hold on 1 second. I was doing the math real quick. So what I'm basically doing is, if I had a 2 mile an hour wind the way I've been playing it, I would do a 2.16 adjustment. But if I did, now the way I've been doing it, I'd do it. If it was a 2 mile an hour wind, I'd do a 2.2. But if I did 30% and then played the club at where I'm at, which is minimum club, it would be 2.16. And it doesn't seem like I'm pulling it enough, so I'm gonna do a 20% at max, and we'll see. We'll have some fun. And I need to bring a katana. Why not? I'm not sure what it'll take to qualify in here, but I'm sure that it'll take better than a 12. Because there are definitely holes that we can pick up. I haven't picked any of them up, but there's definitely holes that we can pick up. Now I think I hit the one shot from the rough area, so I think I did pick one up. Now there are some shots from over there. I thought maybe there might be where you could go over the trees and do a rough bump right here, but no. I don't think there is. This is the racetrack side. This used to be the side that... What I liked about the old configuration of this hole is that you could play over on this side right here and do the racetrack, but there was 2 different shots that you could do from the right-hand side. And so there was other ways to play it. And I had finally figured out one of the ways on the other side, on the right-hand side, to play it, and then they changed it to this configuration and jacked me all up. Dagnabbit. Blue ring off. .1 rings. It's 4.1 rings. I need to lean just a little and hit it great. And be a little short. I did leave it a little short, but I was in a spot right there. What I should have did was pushed it forward a little in the shot, because one of those bounces is on a spot where if you added a little bit more, it wanted to shorten up, it would stop, and the ball guide was going like this, back and forth, and what I should have done is in my original shot position, I should have pushed that shot position forward so that I could have got the bounce that was having the problem out of that area. Instead of being blue ring off on the sand, blue ring off on the rough, I could have left blue ring off on the rough and clear ring off on the sand and pushed the shot forward 1 ring. We got to leave something for later. Hole number 7. Hole number 7. All right, we got 3 great holes here. I was working on a shot in 77. I have to go back and watch that video to see exactly what I did, but there is a shot from right here where you can come at it and try and backspin it down the hill. And I can't remember if I was using a rock or if I was using a rocket, but there is a shot from here. I will say that if you're going to do, if you're interested in doing the shot where you're coming up here and you're trying to backspin it down towards the cup, you can get a kind of a look at it and spin it around so that you can see where your tail's coming out and line it up with it. But you really want your bounces up here not to get to the fairway. When you come around this way, you're carrying a little bit of speed, so when it gets to the point where it drops down onto the green and then it rolls to the cup, it's carrying some speed with it. But if you're trying to do the backspin shot where you get one of your bounces ends up here and then it rolls backwards down the hill, it's not carrying near enough speed to get back to the cup. So if you're doing the backspin, you want to set your shot up along this area so that your bounces never leave the green. And so when your backspin engages, you're already on the green so that you can get your momentum back down to the cup. I don't think I have in this account. I don't think my rocket is high enough level. Oh, it is. I do. I think I had to bring out a big ball to get this done too. Let's try it. Let's have some fun. I do have a great, there is a great shot here. The other shot's not a bad shot either. The thing about the racetrack side is it literally is throw the ball over your shoulder. I was just trying to have a little bit of fun on it and see if there was other ways that we could try and enhance our odds. There is a rough bump that you can do on this hole as well, but it's so far down in that hole that you really need to know what kind of an adjustment, what kind of variable adjustment to use on it. Otherwise you can end up in some trouble. Let's take the rocket. Which back can I switch up? I'm not using that quarterback in this, I don't think. I'm not using my big topper, I don't think. Let me switch that up for a rocket. Do I have a rocket on my notes? Hell no. What is it? 1.1? Select the rocket. And I think I'm gonna try with a katana and see if that works. If not, I can always just throw it forward. .1, I'm gonna do I'm thinking. You can see the smoke. That's me thinking. All you have to do is look out your window and it's everywhere. That's how bad it is. I'm not so sure. We'll see. Seems like in the past over there, if I'm taking the shot on the left, I've done a 10% adjustment, but I'm not so sure. A quasar. Yep, that'll put me. I think a katana will be fine. That's minimum driver right there, so I might actually have to drop down. See how it's carrying all that speed right there? But if you're trying to do the backspin shot, it doesn't have enough oomph to get you back down to the hole. Close. Close. Nice shot. Where am I right there? It's hard to tell. 3.1 times 3.1 divided by, I'm at pretty close to min. I'm going to do 1.2 rings. 1.2 is 284. It's 284. I hope you go in just because why are you laughing? And even there, not enough backspin to get me the distance back down to the cup. I had to start a little bit closer. Not enough suck back. It seems like let me look at this hole again. I'm going to keep playing with that shot, doing the backspin. It's just that, you know, if we're gonna always be off on the hole, let's at least have some fun. There will be a bunch of people this week that'll make hole-in-one on this, but it'll, like, if they go back and they try and do the exact same thing again, it's going to be, this is super hard to replicate. I tried to come this way, but I'm just wondering if I went straight and tried to come down the hill, if it's steeper right here on this edge than it is over here. It's just not carrying enough speed. Yesterday I hit the fairway up here. I was up higher because my ball guide stretched out and it looked like it was going to go down farther, but when I hit up here it killed it, and then it just dribbled on and then rolled down, and I was about the same distance away, so it didn't help to hit on the green. I was hoping that it would, but it didn't. But it is steeper behind it, so I'm just wondering if I could go this way and then try and bring it, if it would fall down faster. This shot over here is just, I know how to do that shot. It's pretty easy to get up on the green. But if we're gonna just throw it out there anyways, might as well have some fun. Hole number 8. Now this hole I have the least amount of time and grade of any hole on the deal. I'm trying to go through this gap over here. And this is another one of those holes that with a bigger power club, you can pull back a little bit from the red line, but here I'm gonna have to be right at the red line with a 3 power ball. A Titan, the king of balls. And an extra mile, because that's all I got. That's it. I tried doing the drive here with no, I just did a normal wind adjustment where I was at in my club, the wind divided by where I was at in my club, and it wasn't enough, so I upped it to +10. We'll see if that's enough. I need about 3 miles an hour of that wind, so 4.4 divided by 2.1 is 2.3 rings. And I'm going to take one of them off and leave the other one in. Hitting it perfect. And it pushed me way off. Way off. Now part of that is I didn't take all of the side wind out. What I should have did there, I saw that I was running out of time. What I should have did there was pull the whole 4.4 out and then push back in a ring and a half. And so I didn't take all the side wind out. I still got a ton of work to do. I do have a Firefly, so at least I have that going for me. That's in the sand. Boom, out of the sand. Nice. Nice. Nice shot. Gotta hit this perfect. No doubt about it. No bow to doubt it. Definitely gonna hit this perfect. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if the wind was a factor, if it pushed me. It did push me over just a titch, but I was still, the flagpole's here, and I set it up, here's the hole, I set it up over on this side. It did push me over to this side. I was trying to leave myself, if I did hit a grate to the right, it would be here. I was trying to get myself 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 3 out of 3 is better. I think with this account, because I use a rock on my 77 account on the drive on this account. I'm gonna play this account the old way, or this hole the old way, and see what it is, what you got here. You see, you can play it up into here. It seems to me, I was watching one of my opponents play yesterday when I was doing the pro account. What they were doing was they were coming out into this area right here with a power 5 ball, and there's a row of signs out here, and they were pounding it as far. They had an extra mile, so they're aiming out in this direction, and they're trying to cover this angle, which they're not going to be able to do with an extra mile. They might cover half of it, but they're not going to cover all of it. And they weren't even putting on all of the side spin. But what they were doing was they were hitting it with max overpower as hard as they could possibly hit it, and they were just knocking it out into the rough, and then from here with a rough iron you could easily get up. So I played them, I practiced with them, and then I caught them again in the round, and they did the same exact shot both times. And I suppose that was their plan, because they, and that's a good plan if you're having a problem. Like if you get in any kind of trouble over here, you are screwed. If you get in any trouble down in here, you could be screwed. Now, if you have a Nirvana and you're in the front part of this and you get into trouble, there's a good chance you can make that finger, maybe, depending on what ball you brought out. But if you got a 5-power ball and you're just pounding yourself into the rough right there, like if you are having a problem, you can start off in this area right here and just pound it as far as you can. I personally would have put more curl. I would have put all my curl on it, because heck, you might catch it. You might catch the fairway on a bounce and even get farther out of the rough. Although there is a row of signs out there, and those signs do play a factor. You might bounce, if you did catch the fairway, you might bounce off and hit one of the signs and end up right behind one of the signs. Thank you, Playdemic. So it really wasn't a bad plan if they were having a problem. It just cost them a power 5 ball. I don't think with this account that I can get up into this area, because I need a club that can hit over here, that's got the curl to bring me back around. And my extra mile, I'm not going to be able to cut it, so I wouldn't be able to put on very much topspin. So I might end up more like in this area, giving me a really long shot. And I think my red line for my sniper is like right in this area, because there's a rough bump that you can do here, and it's hard. You really got to dig up into this area in order to get the rough bump with a 3-power ball. I'm going to take a 3-power ball and hit to the old spot, which is right out here, right in front of this sand line. You've got a perfect shot to it. Now you can get a little bit farther forward, but what happens is if you hit it too far here, you're behind these trees, and then you're trying to go around like this. You're trying to get the ball to go like this, and then you need it to S around. So we don't want to hit it out there too far. Do I want to bring, what do I have? I have the most of a Quasar, so let's use a Quasar. Let's use the Quasar, and if I'm going to use the Quasar, I'm going to use that bag right there, because that Horizon hits farther, and it still has good ball guide. You just don't want to hit it not perfect. You want to hit it perfect, for sure. I'm going to do 10% on the drive times the wind, divided by 2.1. Off we go. I think it's only like 3 or 4 topspin. I think it's 4. I don't think it's very much. I go first. Getting down into the hole, into the pocket, and do 3 topspin. And a sliver of curl. 2.6, 1.36 rings. There's the 3.6. There's the 1. And a sliver of curl. Isn't it perfect? And that sliver, that's a technical term. See this little indentation that's right there to my left? That was where the shadow used to, if you were in line with that, the shadow was right behind me. That's the spot. Now if you have an APOC 6, it definitely has enough curl to get you up on the right hand side. If I had an APOC 6 in this account, I'd probably be playing the right hand side shot. Did that seem right? Yeah, it was. It was. And I think they've still got they can go around from there, because they moved the flagpole used to be more to the left. Right at it. It's 1.2 times 4.6 divided by max Horizon is 2.7. 2.05 rings. Let's get lined up. There's 2.05. Hit it perfect. Hit it. No, we got to hit it great to the right. It's still going to go in the hole. It kind of funnels towards the cup, so if you're even close to the ballpark, you still got a shot of it going in. Close. It's close. This is my absolute favorite hole in the game. I like it less since they reconfigured it, but there are more ways to play it now. You used to pretty much have to play it that direction, and the pin. The green was much bigger than it is right now. It was one of those greens that if you were, number one, it was one of those greens that everything funneled down towards the hole. And so you were typically close to it, but you could get on spots on the green where you couldn't make the putt. Here. All right, I did pick up a couple shots. Amazing. And I had a couple shots that I could have picked up that I was really close to, and I gave it the old college try and didn't really bring out anything special. There we have it. There we have it. The Inbringer 6. Some people would go, well, they got 2,470 trophies. They would play 25,000 games. If you played 25,000 games, you've opened up 12,400 and some odd chests plus all the free chests. Their clubs are pretty decent. Pretty decent. I don't know if I've ever lost to clubs. I've lost to some balls. It amazes me in one-on-one people bringing out, Shell, I've been playing Tour 4 with this account, trying to get some of my clubs that I have, some of my common clubs that I have maxed out, trying to get 300 in them. So I've been playing it in the evenings while I'm watching TV. And I'm amazed at how many people in Tour 4, I mean, like, pretty much every single person I play is playing with a Power 5 ball or a Power 4 ball or some special ball. Up at the top, tied for first. And there was definitely opportunities on some of those holes. I really feel like my chances on hole number 1 are pretty non-existent. Maybe. I mean, you know, but to me, I think it's all about luck. You could do whatever you did, and then you could go back and try and do it again, and I'm not sure. It's just, when you're trying to hit through that kind of terrain, any bent blade of grass from the guy that walked on the course before you and knocked over something. But there was definitely some of these holes that there was opportunities. Hole number 4, missed that opportunity by not hitting perfect. Some of the par 5s, there's awesome opportunities, even with low-level stuff, of getting an Albie. There was a great opportunity right there on hole number 9, and that's just with a Quasar. You could see, though, where I was at on hole number 9, on that second shot. Like, that club had, what's it got, 270 something, and versus the 166 for a sniper. So my red line would have been back, and how much spin I would have had to put on in order to get to the right spot. It's definitely worth bringing out, if you're going to go this way with a lower power ball, bringing out a club that's got more oomph. And because we're not using any backspin here, that Horizon is a great choice. Great choice. The only thing about a Horizon, about those clubs like that don't have a lot of accuracy, is if you hit it perfect, it is perfect. But if you hit it great to the left or the right, you know, on the first bounce, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal because it's 2.7 miles an hour of wind off on one side or the other. But when it gets to the second bounce, now that's, in my mind, it's double. So now you're, on the first bounce, you were 2.7 miles an hour off, and on the second bounce, you're 5.4 off. So, I mean, think about if you were playing with a sniper, that's a whole ring set that you're off. And so it's super, you have to hit them perfect. I got lucky there that I didn't hit it perfect, and it still worked out. And part of that deal is that I always leave myself room in these areas. I don't ever put myself one blade of grass off of this and then do this, and that's the only way you can make it. I always try and give myself a couple rings, so if I do hit it great one way or the other, at least on the first bounce, I can survive. All right, there you have it. That is a low-level Ricky account. Getting in with a 14. I will see you on the next one. I may shoot it right now. I've got some stuff to do this afternoon. The places I'm going to don't open till 10, but if I leave right now, I'll be there at 10. So I may shoot it later. I'll decide here as soon as I get done. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, hit subscribe. Hit the like button, ring the bell, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. I do read all the comments, whether they're good or bad, whether they like me or don't like me. I do read them. And I will see you on the next one. Stay safe, my friends.